Right now, tens of thousands of people are without power as Hawaii faces the effects of a Category 1 hurricane.
And very pleasant today. Those clouds will clear on out and we'll actually see the sun. I'll let you know more coming up soon.
Plus, the new scam tactics that you need to watch out for. Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us this weekend. I'm your anchor, Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm meteorologist Jason Clark.
It is Sunday, August 16th, and I know you said that we've got a pleasant day, but please tell me that there's some relief from this humidity at some point.
At some point there is, but for now we're going to have to battle with dew points in those 70s today. It's going to be sticky out there, but not hot to go along with it. So I guess that's a little bit of a consolation prize.
A silver lining, I'll take it, I guess.
A little bit of a silver lining. And as we look at our Dodgeville cam, the Upland Hills sky cam, you can see that humidity hanging out there. We got that fog out there, and it's 72 degrees at this time in the morning. So that's how you know it's going to be a hot one, a little bit sticky out there. And we have light winds out of the west at 6 miles an hour this morning. Planning the rest of your day, those clouds, the fog, they won't stick around very long. By around 11, we should start seeing those clouds clear on out. And by this afternoon and evening, we'll see that sun back out. And it's been a while since we've had a nice sunny day. So a great summer Saturday or summer Sunday coming your way. But you will notice it is still summer with those dew points being up there in those 70s. Tracking our feels like factor, it's something we're going to have to track today. If you're heading out to the State Fair in Milwaukee, 90 degrees, so pack extra water. Be ready to buy some nice fancy drinks at the State Fair, but you can really see that cold front stretching from Watoma down towards Platteville. That relief is on our way from the humidity. I'll let you know when that relief gets here, coming up shortly.
All right, thanks, Jason. We'll be checking in shortly. New this morning, a house fire in Sun Prairie caused over $225,000 in damages. Yesterday, around 4:45, crews responded to a structure fire on the 300 block of MacArthur Street near Shea Park. When crews arrived, they found the garage engulfed in flames with the fire spreading toward the living room. Firefighters were able to prevent the spread. Officials also rescued 3 dogs trapped in the basement. Nobody was injured. Preliminary estimates put the structural damage around that $225,000 mark, with an additional $40,000 to $50,000 in damage to the home's interior. The cause and origin are still under investigation. In Dodge County, a 70-year-old man is seriously injured after a crash. Officials say a semi hauling corn crashed with a combine harvester yesterday morning. Now, the vehicles were both traveling east on State Highway 1660 near Lowell. The semi reportedly rear-ended the combine, severely damaging both vehicles. The 25-year-old driving the semi suffered minor injuries. The 70-year-old driving the combine was flown to the hospital for treatment. The crash is under investigation. In Milwaukee, the Marquette University lacrosse player accused of causing a crash that killed his 2 teammates is heading to trial. Peter P.J. McColgan is facing 2 counts of homicide by negligent operation of a vehicle. A criminal complaint says McColgan was driving 53 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. Surveillance video reportedly showed him accelerating as he approached the intersection. Now, the charges do stem from the September crash, that's near I-94 in the Marquette University campus. Another driver, Amandria Bruner, was also charged in connection to the crash. She collided with the vehicle carrying McColgan and his teammates. The jury found her not guilty of 6 charges related to the crash last month. Scott Mushound and Noah Snyder both died at the scene. McColgan will be in court September 4th. Now, the results of Tuesday's Democratic primary were a surprise and a reminder that polls don't vote, people do. Representative Francesca Hong led all 5 Marquette Law School polls heading into Tuesday's election, but when voters cast their ballots, David Crowley came out on top. According to poll director Charles Franklin, one big factor was the campaigns themselves. And a key limitation of polling, it's a snapshot of the race at a particular moment, not a guarantee of what will happen on Election Day.
Purely polling point of view, first of all, this shows that campaigns matter. And an unusually chaotic last month of this campaign is a prime example that campaigns can change the outcome in the last 2 weeks of a race in ways that people and polls don't see coming.
You can join political reporter LALA Liberté for in-depth analysis of the primary election this Sunday morning at 10:30 on For the Record. In national news, Hawaii avoided a direct hit from Hurricane LALA Saturday, but the storm is still delivering high winds and as much as 2 inches of rain an hour.
As CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports, that means mudslide and flooding are possible.
LALA strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane early Saturday, lashing the islands of Hawaii with strong winds and heavy rain.
Today's the day to be in Honolulu because no one else is out. All the tourists are inside their hotels, so no traffic.
For some tourists, the storm delayed flights.
It was originally for today, so that got canceled. So now we fly out tomorrow, but we're stuck in paradise one more day. It's not too bad, I suppose.
As for residents, some homes were damaged and others started leaking, bringing neighbors over to assist.
She's battling cancer, so we're here trying to help her survive this coming storm.
LALA quickly brought heavy surf as well as downed trees and power lines, cutting off electricity to some areas.
Our request right now of the community is stay home tonight. Please, wherever you are, stay home, stay sheltered. Hopefully our power will hold up.
Hawaii's governor declared a state of emergency before the storm hit. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
At least one person has been killed by the storm. The Associated Press says the last time a hurricane directly hit the Big Island was in 1871.
That's interesting because Hawaii usually avoids these hurricanes because they have cooler water around them. Their temperatures for their ocean is usually in those 70s, and prime hurricane development, you want 80 degrees and above. So usually they don't get strong hurricanes like this. LALA's a little bit of an exception.
All right, so do they know necessarily like where this stemmed from?
The hurricane?
Yeah.
I think just the conditions came together right. They usually have more wind shear, so there's more wind turning with height, which impacts hurricanes. But they didn't see that this time, and as a result, we got the direct hit, or almost direct hit.
Right, and at least we had a little bit of a warning there.
Yeah, which is always good news. And here, closer to home, here in Madison, we're just battling sticky temperatures today. Those dew points will be in those 70s, 71 here in Madison for that dew points, and across the entire region, we're up in those lower 70s for those dew points, so it's gonna feel hot, muggy out there today. But there is some relief in sight. We do have this cold front draping across the region, and that'll bring us relief as we go into Monday. It won't quite arrive for today though, so we'll have to battle that heat, that humidity for much of today. Look at that muggy meter. You can see it drop off as we get towards Monday. We'll be more nearing that comfortable range with dew points in those 60s. But as we go towards Tuesday, it goes up a little bit more, and that does usher in a new storm chance. Looking like southwestern Wisconsin has that highest chance for some stronger storms, but we could see some here in Madison as well. I'll have more on that storm system coming up shortly.
All right, thanks, Jason. Still ahead on Weekend Mornings, News 3 Now's Kyrian Lee joins Dr. Rupa Shah for this weekend's health conversation on cyclosporosis. But first, your morning motivation for today is from Grandmother Willow in Pocahontas. Sometimes the right path is not the easiest one. We're back with more Weekend Mornings. Keep it here.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Now, we've been hearing a lot about an increase in cases of cyclosporiasis, particularly during the summer months. Our Kyrian Lee is joining us this morning for the health conversation with Dr. Rupa Shah.
Wellness coach and SSM Health Family Medicine physician Dr. Rupa Shah is joining me to talk about the illness, recent increases in case numbers, and how to avoid the illness altogether. So Dr. Shah, to start, what exactly is cyclosporiasis?
So cyclosporiasis, it's actually an intestinal parasite that kind of gets into the food source and then can cause severe gastrointestinal disease in some people. In other people, can be completely asymptomatic. Symptoms usually start within a week or two of having the food ingestion, and it usually starts actually at the food source. So again, it starts at the farm before it gets to the consumer.
And so when we're thinking about this, I know there's been a recent increase in cases. What symptoms should people be looking out for?
Well, the most obvious is obviously diarrhea, right? People have sort of this explosive or urgent type of diarrhea frequently throughout the day, but you can also get bloating, nausea, cramping, gas. So it can be a whole lot of different symptoms that just really make you feel uncomfortable. But again, for most people, they're self-limited. If it continues, we do have treatment for it as well.
And so when you do start seeing some of these signs and symptoms, when is it time to call the doc?
Yeah, so if you're having a hard time keeping down food, staying hydrated, or if it's just continuing past 3 to 4 days, you probably want to get in, because we do have stool testing that we can do to pick up this parasite. What's important though is that oftentimes, because it's not always shedding in the stool at the exact time, sometimes you need 1 or 2 different stool samples to actually capture the parasite. So just one negative test doesn't mean you don't have it. But again, if you're having continued symptoms, get into your doctor, because again, while most people are either going to be asymptomatic or have mild symptoms, certainly some people can have more severe symptoms that need treatment.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what can families do to lower the risk of cyclosporiasis and other foodborne illnesses this summer?
This is the time of year that we start seeing some of these foodborne illnesses, right? So number one thing I would say, washing your hands, right? If you're sick, don't handle or prepare foods. If you're going to be outside, make sure you keep your cold foods cold and your hot foods hot. Don't leave them out in the sun where they can kind of breed that bacteria and it can grow while it's, you know, out in the heat. Also, another thing we forget when we're at our own homes is separate cutting boards, right? This is kind of a thing that we forget. I forget too sometimes, but you know, keeping a separate cutting board for your meats and a separate cutting board for your vegetables and other items, that also cuts down on the bacterial load.
Yes, eliminate that cross-contamination there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, Dr. Shah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And here are those 3 things you need to know going into our Sunday weather-wise. We're going to have very nice weather today as those skies clear on out, but we will be battling some humidity, reminding us it still is summer out there. A pleasant start to next week. Monday's looking good. Most of Tuesday's looking good, but then we have a storm chance going into those evening hours. Jumping straight into Futurecast. Here's those skies clearing on out today. We'll see a high in those lower 80s today. Very nice. La Crosse, Eau Claire. You guys are going to be in those upper 70s for much of the day. Then Monday night, it's going to be a great night to have those windows open. 55 here in Madison, 49 up in Eau Claire. Might be a little bit cooler, or this model might be a little bit cold, but you still could see very good windows open, clear out the house's air. Weather out there for your Monday. Then as we go throughout Monday, a very nice, pleasant day, sunny skies. We could see some showers and storms trying to make their way out of Minnesota and Iowa Monday night into Tuesday morning, especially for western areas of the viewing area. But that clears on out, and we're left with a new storm chance as we go into Tuesday afternoon. We could see more wider spread showers. This chance is not set in stone yet. We could still get mist off to the south like we've been seeing a lot this August, but watching this closely, especially for southwestern Wisconsin, they have that highest chance of seeing a strong storm as this system rolls on through, but it clears on out as we go towards Wednesday. And here's that severe weather outlook. La Crosse, Madison, Janesville, areas south and west of that have that highest shot of seeing some severe weather for your Tuesday with these storms rolling on through. But jumping back to today, it's going to be a little bit humid out there. Feels like temperatures in those upper 80s, but a great day to be at the pool with sunny skies developing as we go into the afternoon and evening. Similar story on Monday, but we'll be a lot more comfortable. Those dew points drop down into those 60s with our high of 80 degrees and sunshine. For La Crosse, your 10 days looking very nice, pretty clear except for that storm chance on Tuesday and maybe next Friday. Similar story here in Madison. 2 very nice summer days before you see some storms, a little bit of clouds, but overall a very nice 10-day forecast with comfortable temperatures for the next upcoming future.
Now this is a forecast I'm looking forward to.
Yes,
thanks, Jason.
for sure.
AI-related scams in Wisconsin more than tripled in the first 7 months of this year, and the losses are growing even faster. In your consumer news, the BBB reports AI jumped 238% from the same period last year. Now, the average reported loss in those cases rose to nearly $5,600. The BBB says scammers are using AI voice cloning, deep fakes, chatbots, fake ads, and documents to make their pitches look and sound real. One Wisconsinite lost over $100,000 in an alleged investment scam. Social media posts were promoting what appeared to be an AI trading platform, and the person saw what looked like strong returns. They made a small withdrawal and then invested more money from their 401k. Now, the biggest red flags are a request for money or any personal information, any promises of quick investment returns, or no easy way to reach a real person for help. Always pause before you pay and make sure you're not falling for a scam. If you do fall victim, be sure to report the scam to the FTC or BBB. And don't forget, if you've been scammed or have any type of consumer issue, our Call for Action team is happy to help advise and mediate solutions. You can reach out at the number on your screen, that's 608-690-6722, or submit a case online at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Still ahead, the Brewers and the Dodgers face off on the diamond.
And more on Tuesday's storm chance, as well as focusing on how nice that weather is today.
Then later, we sit down with the lead consumer advocate talking about recent successes. That's coming up in the next half hour. Plus, we review the race for governor and what's ahead for Wisconsin with political reporter LALA Liberté. We'll be right back on Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Happy Sunday. Let's check in with Jason for a quick update on your estimated rainfall.
Yeah, over the last 4 days, we've seen those humid temperatures, a lot of storm chances, but not much rainfall across the region. A ½ inch, maybe in Monroe, and Lone Rock, also our winner, at 1 inch of rainfall. But the rest of us didn't see very much rain, and that's because the pattern we had set up meant all of the rainfall fell just to our south, just about 100 miles to our south. They were seeing rainfall totals up near 9 inches. Similar story in Indiana as well, where they saw a lot of flash flooding, and that pattern's continuing to see those storms shift just to our south. But we may get our own storm chances as we go off towards Tuesday. Our severe weather ingredients are mostly there. We have the upper air lift. Those patterns at the upper levels of our atmosphere are looking good for severe weather. We'll have that wind energy in place, but we are lacking a little bit of that heat and humidity. But that's going to be thanks to a cold front moving on through tonight. So it's going to be humid today, but as we go towards tomorrow, it's going to get a little bit more comfortable with those dew points dropping on down. And for now, I'll swing it over to Nash with your morning sports fix.
And now, Weekend Morning Sports, brought to you by TDS.
Yesterday, it was game 3 of 4 in a big series for the Brewers out west in LA, taking on the Dodgers. The two best teams in the National League so far have split the first 2 games of the set. But last night with the Miz on the mound, Bernie and the crew looked to gain some insurance in the NL by taking down the reigning World Series champions. And we start in a hurry. How about the second inning when Joey Ortiz steps up to the plate and hits a high fly ball to straightaway left field? And this one barely squeaks over Teoscar Hernandez's glove, giving Milwaukee a 2-run lead. 2 innings later, why not William Contreras? It's deja vu right in that same area, just getting enough of it and adding 2 more on the board. Just like that, it's a 3-run lead for the crew, and a lead that would stay frozen to the 9th when Aaron Ashby shuts the door on the Dodgers. Milwaukee beats LA 4-1 the final. And the next game for Brewers on television Wisconsin is Tuesday, August 18th at 6:40 against the Mariners. And in week 1 of the college football season, last year, former Old Dominion quarterback Colton Joseph battled the eventual CFB national champions, the Indiana Hoosiers, in Bloomington. Now, at the time, the now current Wisconsin quarterback didn't know how good IU would end up being, but he was unknowingly going against one of the top defenses in the country and the soon-to-be best team in the nation. This time around, it is very similar, but one thing that is different is the junior transfer now knows what he's getting into, and that is a nationally ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish team with championship aspirations.
I mean, that was the top of the top competition, so that really helped me gain that experience of what it's like to play a team with that caliber. And I think I learned a lot in that game, you know, whether it's from actual football or just the mental side of it. And so I think coming into this year, that's helped me a lot, even through camp, you know, stepping up into the Big Ten, you know, going against a nice Big Ten defense here. So I think that's just really helped me get ready for the season.
When Jeff Hafley jumped from the Packers defensive coordinator to the Dolphins head football coach, it meant it was time for a new DC in Titletown. But for Jonathan Gannon, he took the opposite route. The former Cardinals head coach signed with Green Bay back in January as the team's new head on defense. And heading into the preseason, Gannon, like hundreds of other coaches and players across the NFL, is learning new teams, new schemes, and a new playbook. And despite 2 long coaching careers in the NFL, Gannon and head coach Matt LaFleur had never worked together. leaving this time before the season crucial for the two to develop their relationship and chemistry on the gridiron.
I mean, I think that's always a balance each and every week or each year, especially when you got a new scheme coming in. What do you want to show? What don't you want to show? I'm not going to micromanage what he calls. You know, he's got to feel good about it. And certainly you want to give your guys a chance to go out there and make plays. You don't want to just sit back and, you know, play 3 deep or quarters on every snap. So I think that you got to pick and choose your moments of when to be aggressive.
And we are at the cusp of a new season for Wisconsin women's volleyball. Friday at the Fieldhouse, the Badgers took down Butler, sweeping the Bulldogs in the final exhibition match before the fresh campaign begins this upcoming week for Bucky. The team travels to Milwaukee on Friday, where they look for redemption against the Kentucky Wildcats and the AVCA First Serve event from Pfizer Forum. Head coach Kelly Sheffield and his team know now the wins and losses start to add up and can't wait to start the season against the same team that ended their Final Four run just months ago.
Now the real season begins. Looking forward to going and playing in Milwaukee. And hopefully the fans that have been here through our 2 exhibitions are really excited, are as excited as I am, and I know our players are for this season.
That is all this morning for sports. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thanks, Nash. You too. Still ahead, we've got the detours to know for your morning commute tomorrow. You won't want to miss this traffic update. And gas prices are climbing. This morning, an average gallon of gas in Wisconsin is up to $3.90. Nationwide, that's $4.07. Keep it here. Weekend Mornings continues after the break. Right now, David Crowley is the Democratic nomination for governor after a razor-thin victory. Ahead, political reporter LALA follows the sprint to November.
And this morning, clouds will clear out, bringing us a sunny and humid day. I'll let you know when we knock this humidity down and it gets comfortable.
Plus, I sit down with our Call for Action team, and we're talking about their recent successes. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Thanks for waking up with us this weekend. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm meteorologist Jason Carlson.
It's August 16th, and Jason's got a beautiful forecast for us this morning. You're predicting a sunny Sunday.
A sunny Sunday once we get past around noon today. For now, it's still cloudy out there.
You know what? That's okay. We can wait. We can wait. We'll be patient, right, guys?
Yeah, with the humidity, it's good. We have clouds keeping us a little bit cooler today, and you can see those clouds a little bit on our Edgewater sky cam, a little bit foggy out there this morning, and it's already warm. 73 degrees at 7 a.m. That's very warm for any time or for this time of day. So we'll see a very warm, a very humid day heading our way today. So planning that day out, we'll see those clouds clear on out. As we get towards 11, you'll start to see glimpses of that sun. And by the time we get to this evening, it'll be a nice sunny summer Sunday, but still reminding you it's summer out there as we have feels like temperatures into those upper 80s for areas, 90 out in Milwaukee if you're heading to the State Fair, a little bit cooler for areas of western Wisconsin, La Crosse, Eau Claire. You guys are staying in those 80s, and that's because you can see that cool front stretching from Watoma to Platteville. You see that moisture is a little bit lower. Those feels like temperatures are lower. I'll let you know when we have that cold front reach the entire region and we see some relief from these humid skies we've been seeing.
All right, and we'll be checking in for that shortly. Thank you, Jason. Now, the results of Tuesday's Democratic primary were a surprise and a reminder that polls don't vote, but people do. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is now the Democratic nominee for governor. He narrowly beat out Democratic socialist Francesca Hong, who was favored to win. Political reporter and host of For the Record, LALA joins us now as we follow the beginning of the sprint to November.
Unprecedented is the word to describe this primary after David Crowley dropped out of the race only to get back in 10 days later and win the nomination. But now Democrats are hoping to move past the political chaos and sell voters a very different message: unity.
I stand before the people of Wisconsin after we rose from the ashes.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley accepting the Democratic nomination for governor Wednesday after a razor-thin victory overnight. He won the nomination by just about 4,000 votes, defeating Democratic Socialist Representative Francesca Hong. Just 2 weeks ago, the final Marquette Law School poll showed Hong in the lead with 38% and Crowley with just 7%. The key to victory, the 34% of voters who were undecided right up until the end. like Leroy Stoner.
At the last minute, at noon, I decided to vote for Crowley. It just seemed that this was a more appropriate choice given where we were right now.
It's those undecided voters, poll director Charles Franklin says, who swung the race for Crowley.
This campaign is a prime example that campaigns can change the outcome in the last 2 weeks of a race in ways that people and polls don't see coming.
Wednesday morning, party leaders and all gubernatorial candidates appeared alongside the Democratic ticket. Representative Francesca Hong putting this statement out, saying she fully supports Crowley just moments before the event. Speaking to reporters, Crowley attempting to bridge the divide between moderate and progressive voters.
I want to ask what you say to voters, some Democratic voters who are upset, feeling like the party establishment kind of pushed out a progressive candidate with Governor Evers' endorsement of you now that this primary was so close.
The primary election is over with, and we've all been committed to saying that on August 12th, we needed to come together. Look, as we move forward into this general election, this isn't establishment versus progressive. This isn't insider versus outsider.
The Democratic Party now looking ahead to November, and GOP gubernatorial nominee Congressman Tom Tiffany.
We're not going to win this race focusing on ideology alone. It's about focusing on Wisconsin values.
Tuesday's primary election also saw a high turnout, which could indicate an energetic base of Democratic voters. But Ellie says if the primary was a marathon, the race to the general will be a sprint. Now you can stay up to date on all things politics and be prepared to make informed decisions with For the Record. Political reporter and host LALA is speaking with a panel of experts to break down each campaign's strategy, and that's all taking place this morning at 10:30. Now to Greene County, 2 women are injured after a crash in the town of Decatur. Emergency personnel responded just after 4:30 p.m. to the crash on State Trunk Highway 104. A preliminary investigation found a 31-year-old Beloit woman crossed into the northbound lane and hit a vehicle driven by a 27-year-old from Dakota. EMS transported both women to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officials cited the Beloit woman for operating without a valid driver's license, failure to maintain control of a vehicle, and operating left of the center. In Milwaukee, the Marquette University lacrosse player accused of causing a crash that killed his 2 teammates now heads to trial. Peter P.J. McColgan is facing 2 counts of homicide by negligent operation of a vehicle. A criminal complaint says McColgan was driving 53 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. Surveillance video reportedly showed him accelerating as he approached the intersection. The charges stem from a September crash near I-94 and the Marquette University campus. Another driver, Amandria Bruner, was also charged in connection to the crash. She collided with the vehicle carrying McColgan and his teammates. A jury found her not guilty of 6 charges related to the crash last month. Scott Michaud and Noah Snyder both died at the scene. McColgan will be in court September 4th. Let's check in now on your certified most accurate forecast. Jason has that this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle Renee. If you've been outside today, you know it feels a little bit sticky out there. Those dew points are up in those lower 70s, 72 Janesville, 73 in Elkhorn. So it's going to be a humid one today, and it's already warm. Temperatures in those 70s to start with, already at 7:30. But as we go towards tomorrow, we're going to see this cold front sweep on throughout the day, and it's not going to bring relief today. But Monday's looking a lot better on the humidity front. We've been humid for a while now, so we'll finally have a nice, comfortable day with our dew points dropping down near 60 degrees. And here's that muggy meter. We're up in that very humid category, but as we get towards this evening, it drops on down, and we'll be in that a little muggy to comfortable range, which is very nice for August. As we look towards Tuesday, though, it ticks up slightly, and that's going to be thanks to some storm chances coming our way. We're going to see an isolated chance of severe weather at Madison, La Crosse areas southwest, and a scattered chance down there in far western Wisconsin. It looks like the main portion of the storm may stay in Iowa, but we'll still get our share of storms. I'll track that out coming up soon with Futurecast.
All right, and we'll be expecting that all in your full forecast. Thanks, Jason. Now to a quick traffic update. Starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow, North Sherman Avenue will close just north of Oxford Place to replace the railroad crossing. Now traffic should detour via Aberg, Packers, and Commercial Avenues. The project is expected to last 2 weeks, and Madison Metro will have detours as well. Find those at the City of Madison's website with the full list. Time now, 7:37. Still ahead, how Hawaii is facing a Category 1 hurricane. But first, we're looking outside. This is at that Hurricane LALA in Hawaii. Meteorologist Jason Carlson is going to be back after the break with your full forecast when we return on Weekend Morning.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Hawaii may have avoided a direct hit from Hurricane LALA, but the island are still feeling its effects. The storm, which strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane yesterday, brought high winds and heavy rain. It grounded flights and damaged homes. Power lines were also downed in some areas, leaving tens of thousands without electricity. At least one person has been killed by the storm.
Please, wherever you are, stay home, stay sheltered. Hopefully our power will hold up.
Prior to the storm, Hawaii's governor declared a state of emergency.
And yeah, the storm narrowly avoided Hawaii, but when you track a hurricane, the only thing they count for hitting Hawaii is if it makes a landfall, and that means that eye of the storm, the narrow center of it, has to make it to the islands, which didn't happen in this case and is actually very rare. It hasn't happened since 1871, but they still really feel the impacts. They get the rain, the wind still.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They still get most of the brunt of the hurricane.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate. And I found a radar screenshot of what the hurricane looks like right now over the smaller islands of Hawaii, and it's still strong, bringing that heavy rain, those gusty winds, but it has moved on from that big island, and now it's to the other islands. Honolulu is included in this, so watching that hurricane closely, as this isn't something Hawaii has to deal with too often. They usually have cooler ocean temperatures, which helps them not see this many hurricanes, but the factors all came together right this year, and they're dealing with Hurricane LALA right now. So best wishes to everyone out there. Here in Madison, here are those 3 things you need to know. The skies will clear out as we go throughout our Sunday. We'll have a pleasant start to next week, but as we look towards Tuesday evening, we'll have some storm chances building on in. Jumping straight into Futurecast, here's our lovely day. We're going to see today 82, clear skies, maybe a straight shower or two, but not something to worry about too much. We'll see very nice temperatures continue throughout tonight. Maybe a time to open up those windows Monday night. 56 here in Madison. 46 is a little bit cold in Eau Claire, but some places may touch that 40-degree mark going into Monday morning. As we go throughout the day Monday, not a cloud in sight. It'll be another very nice, very summery day, and we'll see comfortable humidity for our Monday, which will be very nice. As we go into Tuesday, those early morning hours, we may see a storm or two make it out of Minnesota and Iowa. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but an overnight rain shower is possible. As we go into Tuesday afternoon, though, we could see some storms develop across southern Wisconsin, but it looks like the brunt of it will stay off in Minnesota and Iowa, but tracking the chance for a strong storm or two on that Tuesday if they do end up forming. Here's that severe weather risk. La Crosse, Madison areas south and west of that have that highest risk, and it looks like the bullseye is going to be in Iowa. But tracking the system closely as it still is 3 days out. Good day for the pool today with that humidity. Might want to escape it. 80 and sunny this afternoon, so great weather for the pool. Similar weather Monday. It'll be a little bit more comfortable with 81 for that high and sunny skies. Here's your 10-day for La Crosse. Sunny skies the next 2 days before that rain chance on Tuesday. And a similar story here in Madison. 2 sunny days. Get out there and enjoy it, and we have some storms coming in for Tuesday afternoon and evening. But keep in mind, it's just a chance still. We still could see nothing at all for our Tuesday night.
All right, we'll hope for that. Thanks, Jason. Up next on Weekend Mornings, we sit down with Call for Action's lead consumer advocate for some of their recent successes. And later, we check back in on your weekend forecast. But first, if you've got a little kid turning 3 soon, let us know. We'd love to share their picture and wish them a very happy birthday on TV. We're back after the break.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back to Weekend Mornings. Right now, Jackie Falsh is joining us, the lead Call for Action consumer advocate. And we had some numbers in July, but we've also had some successful cases, and we're going to talk about a few today. So
yeah.
Which one do you want to start with?
Good. We saved a consumer from paying over $13,000 to a funeral home. That wasn't necessary. So what had happened is their relative had prepaid for their funeral quite a while ago. And then the funeral home was telling them that they had additional costs up to $13,000. And that was not right. Everything should have been taken care of with the amount that was in the pre-planned funeral. So what we did in this case was review some background, review some laws, find out who it was the consumer needed to be talking with. So we advised the consumer on what to do and who to talk to. And successfully, they did not have to pay any more money. Sometimes it's more of an advisory role that we can help with.
This is a great reminder for consumers who have problems that might not be as large as getting call for action actively involved, but you guys just giving a little bit of advice to help them out.
Right. And it's still a large case. It was $13,000. We did not have to jump in with both feet, and we would have gladly if the consumer wanted, if they weren't comfortable going that and doing that, having those conversations themselves. But in this case, the consumer wanted to do that, but didn't know how to go about it.
All right, and then the other case that we're talking about is about an insurance company, and it was over $20,000 returned to the consumer. What can you tell us?
Almost $25,000. The consumer had a vehicle, their vehicle that was damaged in a structure fire. It was an apartment building, but there was a fire, there was a collapse, their car was damaged and totaled. And the company that owned the structure did not want to pay, did not want their insurance to pay. The consumer's insurance was saying it's not ours that we have to pay for. So we got involved in mediating between the two, again, researching rules and that. And in the end, the owners of the structure were the ones that their insurance paid for the damages.
So what steps did you guys take as call for action to help them mediate the solution?
We talked to the Office of the Consumer of Insurance to find background and find out what was right. Talked to the insurance agents or adjusters on both sides to get them talking together.
And you can reach out, you can call, you can submit a tip online. We've got a new phone number that is at the bottom of your screen right now. And is there anything else that you want consumers to know about contacting you guys if they have issues?
No, probably the easiest way for most people is to do it online. And if you go to the Channel 3000 website, the call for action area, about the first thing that pops up is click here to submit a case. It goes into our database, and then one of the consumer advocates will get back to you at least within a week's time, usually a couple of days. If you're not comfortable on the web, this phone number, call, leave a message with your name and your phone number, at least, maybe a little bit about the case, and the same thing goes into our database, and one of our consumer advocates will call you, find out what's going on, and work with you to get it straightened out.
All right, well, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
And now, here's your weather.
Quick look outside as you get ready to start your Sunday. A little bit foggy out there in Dodgeville at our Upland Hills Sky Cam, and that just shows that humidity that's out there. It's cloudy, gloomy, kind of like it was yesterday, and it'll be similar to yesterday, a little bit sneaky hot with that humidity. I was out at Curd Fest yesterday. Very nice weather for it, though. No rain, just a little bit on the sticky side. And a similar story today. We'll see those feels-like temperatures get to 90 in Milwaukee, so heads up if you're heading to the State Fair today. Upper 80s across eastern Wisconsin, but you can see this cold front right here stretching from Watoma down towards Platteville. We have some relief in sight just behind this. Eau Claire, La Crosse, you're already in that drier air. That's going to make it feel a lot nicer out there. That muggy meter is going to drop as we go throughout the next few days, getting close to that comfortable range as we go throughout Monday, but it goes back on up as we go through some of Tuesday. Looking at those overnight lows tonight, open up those windows will be right around average 60 here in Madison, 56 up in Eau Claire, so a very comfortable night out there tonight. And as we look towards tomorrow, planning your day, we got fantastic weather coming our way. Those dew points will go on down. We'll have sunny skies and 81 to start your work week. Can't ask for much better weather to help pick you up a little bit for your Monday.
No, we cannot. Thank you so much, Jason. Still ahead on Weekend Mornings, the world's ugliest dog. Plus, here's a look at what's to come on For the Record.
Coming up on For the Record, a political upset in the Democratic primary for governor after polling showed Representative Francesca Hong in the lead. We talk with a pollster about how Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley pulled off the win. Plus, the sprint to November is on. David Crowley and Congressman Tom Tiffany have already started touring the state. We sit down with a panel of experts to break down each campaign strategy. That's all ahead this morning on For the Record at 10:30. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. Finally this morning, we're looking at the world's ugliest dog, Ginny Lou. She took home the big prize in the annual and peculiar competition. The 50th annual World's Ugliest Dog contest was held at the Sonoma County Fair in California. Now, it calls attention to the benefits of adopting rescue dogs. Contestants from as far away as Poland joined. And Ginny Lou here is a pug rescue. She celebrated winning first place and is owned by Michelle Grady. Ginny Lou was rescued from the mountains in South Korea before being adopted and brought to California. She is just so cute. Growing up, my grandma had a bunch of pugs, so I am obsessed. I don't even think she deserves to win the ugliest because she's too cute.
I feel like she looked very normal. She just had her tongue out, which is really cute and adorable.
We had a dog named Molly, and she always had her tongue out too. It was very cute. And now to your playlist pick. You're listening to Try by Pink. Join us in creating a weekend playlist. Just send me a song with the subject playlist pick. That's to my email that's on your screen now. And here's your final look at the 10-day.
We got a very nice summer Sunday coming our way, but it's going to remind you it's summer. It's a little bit humid out there, but 83 and those clouds will clear on out. A very pleasant day for Monday, but some storm chances return as we go into Tuesday night, but comfortable temperatures in those upper 70s and low 80s.
And now to your morning motivational quote from Grandmother Willow in Pocahontas. That's on your screen now. Thanks for watching Weekend Mornings.
Coming up next is CBS Sunday Morning, followed by Face the Nation and For the Record.
Have a great weekend.